Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the news briefing for this Wednesday. We're going to talk a little bit today at the beginning about the historic Porter Vallejo Mansion in Pajaro. You may recall that among the flooding damages that occurred in March of 2023, that particular building was also damaged. It was a building that was a real treasure in the community, and it actually also housed one of our local county library branches. Well, plans have been underway to repair the flood damage and using some state funds to do that work, but there was still a shortfall until yesterday. We're very pleased to have Florence Kabwasa-Green, who is our Director of Facilities for the county, to give us some really good news about the repair of this wonderful community asset. Hi, Florence.
Hello there. Thanks for inviting me. I'm really excited about this major milestone for this county facility, this library in Pajaro that has served the community for a number of years. And as you mentioned, it's a historical property. So we're excited not only to renovate this facility for use as a library and also as a potential community center, but also just as stewards of this historical facility, bring it back to life and make sure that it's restored for future generations. I do have a screen to share. I don't know if this is a good time to share screens and just show some photos.
That would be fantastic.
Okay, so let me do that. All right. Are you guys seeing the screen? Excellent.
Yes.
All right. So as you can see here, this is some information on the Pajaro Library. It's about 8,300 square feet. It's a 3-story facility. It was built in the 1850s, and as mentioned, it was on the historical registry as of 1990, and mainly because this facility was designed by William Weeks, who is a prominent architect that started his practice in Watsonville and then became a prominent architect in the Bay Area and San Francisco. So, the county is very fortunate to have this facility that stands as a testament to William Weeks's architecture, as well as J. Porter, which was a prominent businessman in the 1850s that invested in this property and actually hired William Weeks to do this. So this gives you kind of a sense of where this property is located in Pajaro. And the first floor again was used as a library. It's now unusable until we get the repairs done. And then we're really hoping to expand use of this second and third floor with some grant funding that we're seeking. So the money that we just received is going to allow us to address a lot of the damage that occurred after the flood. Let's see if I can go to the next photo of the flood here. There we go. Are you all able to see this? So this is really—
Oh, yes. Oh,
yes.
That brings back terrible memories, right?
Yes. This is really reminding us of the extent of the damage that occurred. A lot of floodwaters entered into the crawl space of the library. It impacted the mechanical equipment here and the HVAC equipment and the fire suppression system. So we're having to restore all of that to code, to current code. And we're also addressing a lot of water intrusion that happened, not only underneath, but all around the facility. And we received funding through AB 102 that's going to allow us to really address this portion of the project and address the water intrusion and make it so that this facility can be usable as a library. And then once we address the water intrusion, we're hoping to then do the real magic for this facility. And that is to create access to the second and third floor by adding a staircase, creating a much more user-friendly programming library area, outdoor community space here for the community, and really refresh the interior with really pleasant fixtures that highlight the historical features, but also bringing the facility into modern use in terms of Wi-Fi access and just making it a pleasant space for the community. We're going to be adding a lift so that, you know, the parents that come, you know, they might have a stroller, they'll be able to use this lift to access the second and third floor, which till now have been left vacant. So that's really a big highlight of what we're really excited about going forward for the Pajaro community.
Florence, thank you so much for showing us these pictures. It's very exciting to see what this could look like. And I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about why upgrading this for community use is a real value for Pajaro, not only just to get the library back into the community. Right now, the library is having to use a bookmobile and, you know, to get there. But this brings this building into regular use for the community, not only the library, but, you know, they can go up. Right now, they can't use the second and third floors. So it's really just, you know, even before the flood damage, it was really limited in use for that community.
Correct, correct. That is one of the biggest things that we're excited about. There really, in Pajaro, there is no other county-owned facility. This is it. This is the main county-owned facility. And by refurbishing the second and third floors, we're going to have a number of community spaces available for, you know, it could be for special early childhood education. It could be for social services that are brought to the community, and just really allowing the community to have better access, not only to community services that are offered by the county, but also being able to use space to have their own meetings and have their own special programs. This is something that has been lacking in the community, and we really see this as a great opportunity. And during the community meetings that happened after the flood, where discussions happened with the community about how to use the AB 102 funding, this surfaced as one of the priorities for the community.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because that is something I did want you to talk a little bit about. You know, a lot of people ask, how are we going to use that money? And it's not only it's a certain amount of money, but there's a limited time to use it. And it's been a while to try to get this project ready to go to use those available funds as well.
Correct. There is a deadline to use the funds by the end of the year. And that's why the main funding that we have allocated is going to be used to address the flood damage and to address the roofing, to address all of the things that need to be fixed before we invest further into the second and third floor.
And so tell us now, when can we see the scaffolding go up? Because I know you told the Board of Supervisors yesterday, you can't wait to get the scaffolding up to get that working.
I would say within, we're just in the middle of finalizing all of our contracts with our job order contractor. I would say definitely by sometime in May, I would hope the community will see scaffolding go up. And we'll be working with Supervisor Church to make sure that we have a special community event around that.
It's very exciting, and it's really great to see these great positive things happening. And I'm sure that whatever ribbon cutting you're going to be doing out there is going to be a very happy day.
I'm really excited. Thank you for allowing me to share this exciting project with you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing the final results for sure.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to our next topic, we're going to talk a little bit about distracted driving. No matter where you're driving or what time of the day or evening, please don't drive distracted. Distracted driving can be deadly, but do you really know what constitutes distracted driving? The King City Police Department is doing outreach about this issue. April is Distracted Driving Awareness Month, and we're very pleased to have Sergeant Anthony Shaw here to talk about distracted driving. Anthony, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, can you turn your camera on? We'd love to see you.
How's that?
Fantastic. Welcome.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. So as you mentioned, April is Distracted Driving Awareness Month, and it's a national campaign in order to not only bring awareness, but also to help try to stop distracted driving. Staying focused behind the wheel is something we all can do. Distracted driving month is an important reminder that even a moment of inattention at a quick glance at the phone can lead to serious consequences, right? Distracted driving is not only risky, it's deadly. Just stay focused and keep your eyes on the road. Under the current law, drivers are not allowed to hold a phone or electronic communication device while operating a vehicle. Even if you're stopped at a red light, you see that a lot, where people will use their phone at a red light. Well, you're still on the road. So you're not allowed to do that. This includes talking, texting, or using an app. Using a handheld cell phone while driving is punishable by a fine. And violating the hands-free law for a second time within the 36 months of a prior conviction of the same offense will result in a point. So your first violation is not a point, but the second one would be. Couple things to try to help combat you in violating distracted driving awareness is to put your phone away, silence your notifications, and store your phone where you can't reach it while you're driving. Plan ahead, set your GPS and adjust your mirrors and finish any task before you even start driving. Keep both hands on the steering wheel and eyes on the road. Avoid eating, grooming, or adjusting your seat or any of the other controls while you're driving. Be a role model for the parents out there. Make sure you are a role model for your kids. They will be driving at one point. Be a role model. Show your passengers and your young drivers that focusing on driving is normal. Speak up. If you're a passenger and you see the driver distracted, remind them, hey, you're not supposed to be on your phone. And if something urgent comes up, pull over, pull off the road. Don't just stop on the side of the road and put your hazards on. Pull off the road into a parking lot or something somewhere safe, so that way you can respond to that emergency phone call or emergency situation that just came in.
So
All right.
thank you so much. That is fantastic advice. And I got to tell you, guilty of some of those you described. But do you find that people don't take distracted driving points seriously, where they think, well, I just kind of looked at my phone at the red light, or, that it can't be that serious. But when in actuality, it really can be a big problem.
Yes. We when we're out there doing the enforcement portion of the distracted driving, we see that a lot. We do see that people think it's normal, think it's okay to stop when they're stopped at a stop sign or stopped at a red light to utilize their phone or look at their phone or something like that, when in reality it's not.
So are you doing some special enforcement during April? I know you're trying to get the word out and just to generate that awareness among drivers to say, hey, take a minute and don't be distracted.
Yes, I believe most agencies and a lot of agencies that have a grant with the Office of Traffic Safety will be doing enforcement during this month. We did our enforcement campaign last week, where we focused on distracted driving and key factors that people, violations people make when they're distracted. And we'll probably be doing another one coming up. I don't want to give out the date, but we have done a directed enforcement towards targeting distracted drivers.
So heads up in King City. You might be watching, but also in general, really I think what you're trying to say is some of these tips are really not hard to do. And modeling is a really good point.
Absolutely.
Sergeant Shaw, thank you so much for joining us today and really providing these great tips. And, hopefully everyone takes those tips and doesn't get pulled over during the next enforcement period.
Absolutely. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you for being here. All right, one last item we have for today. Tomorrow, the annual Lead Me Home Summit on Homelessness will take place. Now, if you've never listened or participated in this, it really will open your eyes to what the community can do and what organizations can do to solving the homeless crisis. The summit really shines a light on what is possible. Plus, it updates the community on the very important 5-year plan to reduce homelessness. We're very pleased to have Katrina McKenzie with the Coalition of Homeless Services Providers here. I know you're setting up for your event, so I really am pleased that you're able to come and join us briefly to talk about what will be happening tomorrow and how can people take part.
Yeah, thank you so much. So yes, we are here setting up right now, getting audio and visual ready to go. We'll have it streaming on the county and coalition website. So we're really excited. This event is really special for Monterey and San Benito County because it's a one-of-a-kind type thing that we do here locally, and it brings together policymakers, stakeholders, community members, and and individuals with lived experience of homelessness. So it helps, it's like bringing us together to strategize on ending homelessness in Monterey and San Benito County, and also provides the opportunity to learn about our 5-year plan that is aimed to reducing homelessness in our region. We're going to learn about how the community can collaborate and achieve these objectives together. We'll be covering crucial topics on innovative housing interventions, those challenges, how healthcare and homelessness intersect, and youth homelessness, in addition to our new state and federal laws that are coming down the pipeline. So it's a real big learning experience for all, and that they can take part in bringing some of their feedback to us. So we'll also be holding a community input session during one of our learning sessions as we go for our HAP6 grant for Monterey and San Benito County. So we're going to take some time to let the community let us know what are their gaps, what are their needs in our community, what would they like us to spend this funding on if we get it. So we're extremely excited to be offering an event that is going to have about 28 speakers across 12 sessions tomorrow. That is going to include community members, people with lived experience, federal and state partners, and our local service provider network to talk about all these great discussion topics.
And I know that people are always hoping that there'll be more funding because these programs need to be paid for. Is in the current climate of things that's happening right now, do you have any concerns about some of the federal funding that you may be applying for?
At this time, there are some uncertainties, but I think that what we have secured so far we'll be able to sustain ourselves for the next year or so. When it comes to federal funding, we do not know what's going to change come our next funding round. So HUD had done every other year we'll have to do funding competition. So we're in that time frame. So we've been awarded for 24 and 25, and we'll go back in 26 to see what has changed and what they'll be requiring of us. And I'm sure our community is flexible enough to move with the changes and to ensure that we're continuing to get funding in our community.
And Katrina, we've had these summits for the last several years, and some of the ideas and the presenters have really been extraordinary. I think people look very narrowly sometimes at homeless solutions where they think, oh, there's really only one way to do it, or there's only two ways to do it. You have presenters who really offer ways of solving these issues that maybe people don't think about. And that's where this really opens people's eyes to what potential there is to reduce the number of residents who are homeless.
Yes, absolutely. So coming up with innovative solutions is definitely something that we want to bring into this community. And with new leadership here at the coalition and trying some new things, talking to other communities other like-minded communities, to pull some of those innovative ideas to see how we can make some changes and make a bigger impact in Monterey and San Benito counties.
I'm also wondering if you can tell people just a little bit about the 5-year plan. I think it's something if you work at the county or you work in government, you know about the 5-year plan, but for the community, tell them a little bit about why the 5-year plan is important.
The 5-year plan is important because, we came together as a community and wanted to have some really aggressive goals to try to reduce homelessness by 50% by 2026. At the time of us writing that, the pandemic came, and we seen how when an enormous amount of funding comes in, we can reduce homelessness. We can really do this. So it had an aggressive curve on it, if we took these routes. We are coming really close to the end of our 5-year plan and into the redevelopment of our next 5-year plan, and are going to take a lot of lessons learned and apply the new initiatives and federal guidelines that we have to include in our service provision. So it's having cities and other jurisdictions jump on board to adopt the plan. It does help out community-wide when we're all doing the same thing. We all have the same mission and the same strategy in doing it. So that's why the 5-year plan was created, so that there's a roadmap, there's a template for all of our jurisdictions to buy into, to have the support of the coalition and the counties by their side to help move forward with reducing homelessness. So there's still a lot of work to be done in our communities, and I'm here with my team and alongside all of our service providers and other partners, county and community partners, to really push this plan forward and make the necessary adjustments for us to have a better impact.
Well, we hope everything goes really well tomorrow. I know you're working hard setting it all up. For those who don't know, it will be, as you mentioned, Katrina, it will be streamed on the coalition's website, which is chsp.org. Can you give us the web address?
Exactly that. chsp.org. It also will be on the county website, on their YouTube page. So I don't have those logistics just yet, because they're running all of that behind the scenes as we speak.
Well, I got that one for you. If you're watching on county YouTube right now, come right back tomorrow and you'll be able to watch. And it's also important, I think, to tell people that they need to at this point, they need to watch, because fantastically, the conference is at capacity. So
Yes.
The only way to participate is to watch.
Yes. Unfortunately, maybe one year it will will have extra space, but yes, we reached our 350 attendee capacity last month, and are doing our best to accommodate all the needs of our community in wanting to attend.
Well, that alone is very significant, the number of attendees that you have. Katrina, thank you so much for being here. Really best of luck tomorrow, and best of luck as we look forward to the next 5-year plan.
Thank you so much for having me. You have a great one.
And thanks everyone for joining us on the news briefing this week. Our next briefing is next week. We'll see you then.